I'm the Atheist Gamer, and today I'm going to review a comic book. Yeah, that is something new. Something that no other anti-feminist has done. And boy, oh boy, is it dumb. Marvel has been known for showing its social justice warrior side. Ever since the very first comic that Mundane has talked about, it was this comic that we all forgotten by now. But it talked about how there's this guy who started cursing, saying some things. So you know what? He blurred it out by saying some, talking about how Islamophobia, homophobia, MRA slurs and shit. Yeah, because being an MRA is practically the worst thing a person can be, because, you know, fuck men's rights. Yeah, men don't need rights. It's women who needs rights. Yeah, fuck that shit. The point is that Marvel has a tendency of appealing to a group of people that will never read their comics in the first place. They're just, these social justice warriors tend to infiltrate our fan bases and infect what we love. It's disgusting and disturbing. So now I'm reviewing this one comic book that's not necessarily related to social justice, but it's about voting. But it came out in November 20th. That's 8 days after the voting inauguration, whatever. So it really makes no sense. This is the equivalency of celebrating Christmas in the middle of July. So, that being said, let's take a look at this comic, shall we?
So this comic begins of our heroes and some of our friends being depressed. I don't know why they're depressed, because I'm not a fan of Marvel Comics, even before the whole SJW takeover thing. But if I was, chances are you will not see me read Ms.Marvel or any Marvel comic whatsoever. And you guys already know the reason why. So then there was this announcement made of a transfer student, which happens to be somewhat related to our hero. Reason why he's being transferred is because his neighborhood is now redistricted, which takes place immediately. It's never explained on why this particular person has to be transferred, but we can assume it has to do something with his race. So Ms.Marvel decides to ride the bus to where she needs, on top of the bus. Now, if I was a local superhero and I needed a bus ride, why in the world would I ride on top of the bus instead of going inside the bus? Hell, it seems like the bus driver would have given her a ride for free because she's a superhero. Are you saying that Ms.Marvel can go out there, save the world, and yet can't afford to ride the bus? How fucking cheap are you? There is no excuse in this situation. So she meets up with the mayor. The mayor comments on her side, and Ms.Marvel says, "I will try not to get offended." Ha ha ha! Yeah, the girl who can make her body bigger than a bus is trying not to get offended of her size. Jesus Christ, is this dumb? So she tells him about the whole thing about the neighborhood being redistricted before the election day. Did I mention that this comic is about voting? The mayor refuses to talk about it. He writes down a piece of paper saying, "Help." Now, don't you think that maybe this is just silly? Who's listening? Is there some sort of hidden camera? I think it's safe to say that if a superhero went investigating and heard that conversation, don't you think the villains would be a little bit more prepared? I will get to that in a moment. So, our hero comes to visit her friend by going through the window because, again, it's not like she can afford to be normal. For fuck's sakes, have some dignity. She decided to find some information about who's doing this, and turns out to be a guy named Chuck Worthy. I tried finding this guy on the internet, but I found no luck. So, how did Ms.Marvel know this guy works for Hydra, the evil Nazi organization, is completely unknown. Of course, Ms.Marvel will have to do something about it. So she tries to make a campaign to get people to vote for her. Vote for someone else other than Hydra, because you know Hydra! But she's out of luck as no one, because everyone sucks. Like, no one wants to vote. They're coming up with cheap excuses like, oh man, my boss is not gonna let me vote or whatever. Yeah, those types of shit. Like, all the candidates just really suck. And I don't really blame them. Most of the time I tend to be neutral because no matter who wins, we lose. So Ms.Marvel explained to people that they can vote. There are ways to vote, which is fine by me. But if people don't want to vote, they shouldn't have to. But she managed to encourage people to vote anyway. Meanwhile, Chuck Worthy is just talking to his peers when all of a sudden Ms.Marvel and her voters appear. I'm not sure if I'm okay with this, but why should I care anyway, right? Just random stuff. Chuck is shocked to see that people are rising up to vote against him, and Foss was proven wrong, which brings up to my point from earlier. If Hydra is really keeping tabs on the mayor and he finds out Ms.Marvel would try to prevent Hydra from winning, don't you think they would at least come prepared by getting people to vote for them? According to Wikipedia, Dr. Faustus is a genius. He can hypnotize and manipulate the mind, so don't you think he would at least come prepared for something like this? This is like if Doctor Doom loses to Iron Man because he forgot that Iron Man can fly. This is what it boils down to. It's just a message, so it doesn't have to make any sense. So how does Hydra handle this? By attacking Ms.Marvel. Yeah, that's a smart move. It wouldn't be a comic book without some form of violence, right? So at the end, Hydra loses and everything's back to normal, I guess.
So yeah, it's no fucking wonder why Marvel is losing money. They're no longer becoming popular. Well, at least not in the comic book section. Because when it comes to movies, holy shit, their movies are awesome. But when it comes to comic books, it's total fucking shit. The only comic that is selling a lot is Civil War 2. But everything else, they're like the second highest selling comic right there. But everything else belongs to DC. The first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth, and 10th belong to DC. Holy shit, is that scary. So, this is the fall of Marvel. Sooner or later, Marvel is gonna end up becoming total shit. Because right now, it's not complete shit. But it's starting to turn into shit. Because no one really wants to be a part of a group of people that are easily offended, who value diversity over personality. Nobody wants that. And that is why Marvel sucks. I am the Atheist Gamer, and keep gaming on.